कुमार स्वामी नायकर गोंगो लुबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की
In the news tonight, churches to develop anti-rape policies. Anilithia hits out at Sodelpa president. And political parties oppose electoral reforms.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Edwin Nunn.
Ulunaka Fiji, the Council of Churches says it's a severe violation and inhumane act for pastors to sexually abuse church members. With an increase in rape cases involving pastors, the Fiji Council of Churches President Archbishop Peter Lloyd Chong says they're working with the Pacific Conference of Churches on a policy to help address the issue. Sanya Nimboila reports.
Some pastors are convicted of rape, while some are still under investigation, and the Fiji Council of Churches says this is embarrassing.
It pains my heart to hear that young children and little girls and women are abused. And it's embarrassing as a church leader to hear this happen amongst church leaders.
Archbishop Chong says they're working closely with the Pacific Conference of Churches on the way forward.
We've awakened to this and we've developed our own safeguarding policies to prevent and minimize or almost, if we can, eradicate this inhuman behavior in the church.
The Child Safe Churches and Ending Violence Against Women framework will allow all churches to become the safest place for Fijians.
Really, it is about prevention and stopping not only the clergy but right down to our communities and family units. But in particular, the child protection policy itself is towards making churches the safest institution for our children.
The drafted framework, once complete, will allow churches to follow guidelines on how best they can eradicate this illegal act and at the same time encourage churches to report such matters. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Founding member and former Social Democratic Liberal Party General Secretary Anilithia Ngyuni Baravi has spoken out against her removal from a Sodelpa Management Board meeting last week. A statement from Sodelpa had said a leaked email named Anilithia and others as allegedly being involved in collecting signatures for the registration of a proposed political party by Sitiveni Rambuka. Apanisa Wangerandovu reports Anilithia says the banning from the meeting was a breach of the Sodelpa Constitution.
The former Sodelpa General Secretary claims Party President Ratu Epenisa Vakombau acted unilaterally and in doing so curtailed the rights of Fijians who voted Sodelpa MPs into Parliament.
The representatives of the constituency councils who have been restricted from attending the meeting were, in fact, elected by the members of those constituency councils to represent their voice to the board.
Anilithia also says Ratu Epenisa should provide an explanation given that he was the one who sent out emails for certain management board members to recuse themselves.
No members can be expelled by the president because he does not have such powers. The power is with the management board. If we all respect the party constitution and the Constitution of the Republic of Fiji, then that would be the best start.
Party leader William Ngavoka confirms the decision to keep these members out of future party affairs remains until the internal investigation is completed.
We are protecting the party and we are not pushing anyone away, but everything done must be done within the law.
Anilithia believes as long as Ratu Epenisa is purportedly listening to ill-conceived advice, the party will always have problems. She says natural justice should be afforded to them in response to the allegations of their involvement with Sitiveni Rambuka. Apenisong Garandobu, FBC News.
Some major political parties have today opposed the amendments proposed to the electoral framework of Fiji. The Social Democratic Liberal Party and the National Federation Party believe the amendments to the Act will give too much power to one person, which it says is tyranny. Kritika Kumar reports.
Filimoni Vosarongo says the supervisor of elections should not deal with content published by political parties that may contain false information.
Let's take a scenario. The supervisor of election walks into a town area prior to election and sees a SODELPA banner that he thinks is offensive, probably better than a Fiji First banner, and he directs it to be removed.
Vosarongo says the office of the Registrar of Political Parties and the office of the Supervisor of Elections must be distinct. National Federation Party leader Professor Biman Prasad has echoed similar sentiments.
You can't have the Supervisor of Elections who is in charge of conducting the elections, but also regulating the political parties.
Supervisor of Elections Muhammad Saneem says the suggestions by the political parties will take the electoral system back instead of moving forward. He says the submissions by the parties focused on only a few areas in the Act.
The deputy leader of SODELPA appeared to have not read the entire amendments and was only reading pieces of the amendment, which really made the understanding of the law very difficult. With the National Federation Party, I noted that there was a heavy objection.
Saneem says in an ideal situation, political parties should support the improvement in the laws, especially in terms of transparency and disclosures. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Key stakeholders in the tourism industry have been reminded to continue supporting each other and reinvent their business to suit the current situation. During a Talanoa session in Nandi today, Minister for Tourism Fayaz Koya stressed they will continue to support the industry, which was the backbone of the country before COVID-19. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Those in the tourism industry have been reassured that the immense contribution of fueling almost a decade of economic growth pre-COVID will not go unnoticed.
The representations by no one in the industry is forgotten, not in the least. And whether you manage a hotel, or whether you run a restaurant, or you have a tour company, everyone contributes to the greater tourism ecosystem.
Koya says a lot still needs to be done as far as policy interventions are concerned to find the most practical solutions.
It won't be easy to get back to where we were, but we'll walk this journey together.
The meeting was also held at the Sofitel Fiji Resort, where key stakeholders shared their plans for the next few years.
It's a forum to generate discussion. You know, what are you feeling right now? Where do you see your business moving to in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years?
I think it was helpful because we do have a blueprint as a tourism industry. It is a draft document and it explores various scenarios.
The Talanoa session was suggested by Minister Koya to allow concrete input from various stakeholders. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Felipe Naikaso is live now from Nandi. Felipe, what more was discussed at the Talanoa session?
Edwin, as you've heard, the minister is stressing that they will always be there to support the tourism industry, especially during this time. Koya also says that while there's been various meeting forums, the main thing is that they want to hear a wider group from the industry, which will allow them to collectively arrive at solutions. He also says while they're not able to take into account all the concerns immediately, they will take on board what they've raised, especially today. During the Talanoa sessions, the various stakeholders also had a chance to present what they've gone through and what they're expecting in the next few years. The Talanoa session with the Minister Koya was also very informal, as it allowed the different stakeholders to speak their mind openly.
Naka Felipe. Up ahead, strict rules for mining licenses. And department explains tsunami warning system.
मैं टोटली दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Welcome back. Attorney General A.S. Syed Qayyum has questioned why a report by the chair of the USP Audit and Risk Committee is being labelled the Mahmood Khan Report by Communications Fiji Limited. Syed Qayyum claims CFL is personalising and politicising the matter in what he describes as extremely mischievous. Tandulala reports.
Syed Qayyum says the USP report has never been called the Mahmood Khan Report, raising concerns on where CFL came up with the label.
We are seeing that CFL, obviously, in the past few months has shown a particular proclivity in terms of the assessment of such matters and in other matters too. And they've sought to personalize it. Why would any media organization, if they're following ethically what they're supposed to do, would try and personalize the report of the chair of the Audit and Risk Committee?
CFL News Director Vijay Narayan says they always stand for balance, fairness and accuracy and do not support any form of discrimination against any particular individual. The Attorney General says the use of Khan's name could raise communal connotations.
They have not called, for example, the Pro-Chancellor's report, the Winston Thompson report. They have not done that. The choice to do that for the chair of the Audit and Risk Committee, I think, is extremely mischievous, and they're trying to politicize the matter.
The Attorney General has stressed the USP chair of the Audit Risk Committee report is not a Mahmood Khan report. Tandulala, FBC News.
The Department of Mineral Resources has imposed stringent guidelines that need to be followed by mining companies if they want special prospecting licenses. Minister Chone Usamate, while handing over the license to VT Mining Limited today, highlighted the company has met all requirements. Usamate adds the sector continues to thrive despite challenges posed by COVID-19.
I'd like to express my appreciation to the company for having faith in Fiji and investing in Fiji, and in particular Fiji's mineral sector, especially during these difficult times. Although mineral exploration is a very fragile sector, it has shown resilience against this pandemic and has contributed immensely to the Fijian economy.
And Josiah Nanunga joins us live now for more. Josiah, what other conditions does VT Mining Limited need to meet while doing exploration?
Edwin, I spoke with John Sunday, who is the founder and executive chair of VT Mining Limited, straight after this heading over this afternoon. He assured that the exploration activities that will be carried out at a piece of land next to Nambila village in Narunga and Viani Vakaunrobe are sustainable and will pose minimal environmental risks. He adds they fulfilled or addressed all the requirements set out by relevant authorities, particularly the requirements set out by the Department of Environment and Direct Mines. VT Mining Limited has also consulted custodians or a lands custodian of the two areas, and the consultation or the responses from the landowners themselves has been overwhelming. Edwin.
Minaka Josiah, a thorough assessment is carried out on any potential threat of a tsunami before advisories are rolled out by the Mineral Resources Department. Following recent earthquakes, there's been widespread concerns on whether the tsunami early warning systems are actually working. Pranita Prakash reports.
The acting director says people need to understand the work carried out by the Mineral Resources Department.
We ask the public to work with us and bear with us in terms of the work that is being done by Seismology Monitoring Unit. So we have a 24/7 observatory at the department. So they monitor seismic events and potential tsunami generation.
Raymond Mohammed adds tsunami sirens are activated based on the threat to the country.
We also take into account the tides, and also the projected wave heights propagated by the tsunami event, or the seismic event that propagated the tsunami. So there is standards in terms of wave heights, and for us, for example, if it's the wave height, projected wave height is low, and then it coincides with the low tide, there's no need for any activation of the tsunami siren.
Many people say they are aware of what needs to be done when a tsunami siren is activated.
Yeah, we're supposed to alert people.
The Mineral Resources Department works closely with the National Disaster Management Office and the network of tidal gauges in the region to collect information on any possibility of a tsunami generation following an earthquake. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Fijian Broadcasting Corporation today launched its Diversity and Inclusion Initiative, the first of its kind for media in Fiji and the Pacific. The three-year plan aims to actively create a culture of diversity for those who are at times sidelined or left out of society. Korey Tandulala reports the initiative is supported by the Asia-Pacific Broadcasting Union and UNESCO.
The goal of the initiative is to promote the spirit of diversity and inclusion in the workplace and for all Fijians.
We're the first ones that started the slogan of "We're proud to be Fijians" with our kids programs. Now it's a catch cry, everywhere throughout Fiji. We have nation-building programs, we have nation-building campaigns, and all sorts of stuff that tries to build people together. We're the first company that broke the barriers in regards to Itoke people reading Hindi news and vice versa.
FBC's Human Resource Director Janice Singh says ensuring diversity in workplace is critical in ensuring growth.
Having a diverse and inclusive organization is very important in the delivery of your business goals. Our responsibility as HR professionals is to clearly understand what our part is, and that is to get everyone on board to support the implementation of these goals.
I guess FBC has been a great example for the past years.
The FBC's Diversity Task Force seeks to address issues such as leadership, representation, and contents and services, and also fostering a positive working environment. Korey Tandulala, FBC News.
And now to Business with Whitney.
Thanks, Edwin. Coming up in business tonight, postal services still in demand. And businesses lack digital capacity for marketing. Stay with us.
Bula, ang gono ilutoka tutalita ka ng Bula FM berkini number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Postal services continue to be in demand, with more people returning to this traditional method of sending and receiving things following the pandemic. Post Fiji Chief Executive Aniruba Bensod says their postal boxes are distributed all over Fiji. Dipesh Kumar reports.
There are close to 70,000 postal boxes around the country, with more people making enquiries to own a box.
So if you see that traditionally when the time comes up for the post boxes, payment is there, most of the people start paying straight on to the time. So that means that shows the commitment from the people that they wanted a post boxes there. Yes.
Bensot says they've relocated boxes from places where there is less or no demand to areas where it is needed the most. Fijians say they are still comfortable with the traditional way of posting and receiving items.
It is easy for me, and I think better than using the mobile. I think when I come to the city and for marketing, I can check my box here.
You have a certainty of getting your mails normally on time too.
It's a good idea having a box number, certainly.
I prefer boxes, like it's still giving me exercise to climb up and open my own box.
Post Fiji had earlier suffered a huge decline in its revenue last year when air and sea transport services ceased due to the spread of COVID-19. The company says with minimal border openings, they're slowly getting back on track. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
Sharon joins us now with the latest from the money market.
Hello there. The US dollar held firmly near a 3-month high after surging overnight, and its strength has affected other currencies. In his speech this morning, the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell repeated his pledge to keep credit loose and flowing until Americans are back to work. Meanwhile, riskier currencies, including the Aussie and Kiwi dollars, fell along with stocks as investor sentiment turned sour. While many analysts expect commodity-linked currencies, such as the Aussie and Kiwi, to climb as economies reopen after the pandemic, they have been hurt by the ongoing negative sentiment. Elsewhere, the euro and Japanese yen were also tipped by a firmer dollar, sending the yen down to a level not seen since July 1st last year. Next week is expected to be a quiet one for traders, but we'll see how the currencies move as events develop. And that's all from your HFC Bank for this week. Thank you.
Here are the local exchange rates as set early this morning. The Fiji dollar was on the rise against our two major trading partners today, the Aussie and Kiwi dollars, as well as the euro and the Japanese yen. It lost ground against the other international currencies we cover. Commodity prices were mixed. Oil prices rose a few dollars, closing at $64 per barrel. Gold dropped to close at $1,693 per ounce, and silver was down to close at $25.17 an ounce. A good number of businesses and exporters in Fiji lack the digital capacity to boost productivity. Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation Chief Executive Kameli Batiweti says the COVID-19 pandemic has been a barrier, particularly for the MSMEs, as they are unable to improve their digital capability to meet the current business demand. Batiweti adds businesses need to be encouraged to invest in digital operations as well as marketing to help them bounce back on track and guarantee customer satisfaction.
Yes, that is a fact because most of them are now coming out of the pandemic, they're pivoting in their business and all. And so some of these things are new for them. And if they do reach out to other members of the MSMEs, there are some members of the MSMEs who are in the digital platform, who are doing very well in the digital platform, and therefore they can share their experiences, they can share their success stories.
And that's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Naka, and good evening. Ahead in sports, action from the Super Zone 2 meet and inaugural Women's Super League to kick off tomorrow. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Ini from Raki Raki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Suva Grammar School has once again dominated the Suva Zone 2 meet, successfully defending its titles in both the boys and girls divisions. The Grammar boys taking home a total of 27 gold, 19 silver and 12 bronze medals. Maris Brothers High School finished second with 23 gold, 28 silver and 16 bronze. Lomeri Secondary School settled for third with 1 gold, 4 silver and 6 bronze. In the girls division, Suva Grammar earned 23 gold, 26 silver and 17 bronze. St. Joseph Secondary settled for second place with 18 gold, 11 silver and 17 bronze. Lomeri Secondary School finished third with 8 gold, 6 silver and 9 bronze. Suva Grammar School's golden boy Tevita Soki Veta has set his sights on breaking the 10-year record held by Mbanube Tambakaudoro. Soki Veta set an unofficial time of 10.64 seconds in the Suva Zone 2 100-meter final today and hopes to go a step further to breaking Tambakaudoro's Fiji finals record of 10.43 set in 2011. Karlaini Tavi reports.
Coming into the Suva Zone 2 competition with a knee injury did not affect Tevita Sokiveta's performance today.
We were expected to win this race because we had high hopes on us, so we're doing this race.
Sokiveta knows it's been a decade since the 100 meters record was set.
My aim is to break Ambanubi's record in the Coca-Cola Games in 100 meters and 200 runs.
For the first time, the Suva Zone 2 will feature only the top 2 athletes in the Coca-Cola Games this year. This means out of 51 events, only 204 athletes will feature in the Fiji finals.
We can see today the preparation is the key thing to performing in the Fiji finals. And the first and second from Zone 2, we have from the 7 weeks left for preparation, they'll be able to do a lot of improvements.
St. Joseph Secondary School's Marianne O'Neill won the Blue Ribbon Girls 100 meters final with a time of 12.5 seconds. Karlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
Fiji Pearl squad member Avelina Navue continued her dominance in the Super Zone 2 athletics meet today. In her final zone appearance for St. Joseph Secondary School, it was a sweet swan song for the 18-year-old winning gold in the senior girls long jump event. Tali Materakula has more.
The Nandronga youngster has been winning the Zone 2 long jump gold since the junior grade, and today's win was a special one.
I feel so happy since this is my last year competing in the zone and winning a medal for my school.
Navue came into the zone with the hope of just qualifying for the Fiji finals.
I did not expect it because last year the girl that competed with me, she was jumping again this year even though she finished high school.
I'm pretty happy with where we are. So it's a good indication of what we've been doing and what we need to do in the weeks to come leading up to the Cokes.
Now through to the Coke Games, she says more needs to be done.
For my preparation, I should watch my diet and be more attentive during training.
We're going to work a little bit on her fitness, a little bit of plyometrics, a lot of technical stuff this next couple of weeks, and see if we can get a lot of competition in. Not just in training, but against other jumpers from around Fiji.
Navue has dedicated the gold medal win to her parents who have been the pillar of her success. She has also dedicated the win to her teachers, trainers and friends. Kalimaterkula, FBC Sports.
Makareta Andy of Lomeri Secondary School scooped her third gold medal in the Super Zone 2 meet today. After dominating the 3,000-meter open grade yesterday, the 15-year-old won the 1,500-meter and 800-meter junior girls event on the final day of competition. The youngster says while she is ecstatic with the results, she is also sad her family was not able to witness her perform and has dedicated the 3 gold medals to them.
I never expected to win the 3 gold medals. Even the 3,000-meter event, I thought I was going to come last. But I'm grateful for the win and I look forward to beating ACS and Jasper in the Coca-Cola Games.
The Super Women's football team has been training under the guidance of former reps in the lead-up to the Women's Super League this weekend. Suva is one of the top 6 teams that will feature in the first ever Women's League competition. Venina Rakautonga has more.
Training under the guidance of Suva reps have given the side an added benefit.
Learning more from the experienced players, they will be able to showcase their skills, whatever they've learned. They've gauged their weaknesses and strength, and probably the coach will identify them.
Team manager George Brown says the team has a mixture of young and experienced players.
We have some very experienced and former reps like Titilia and Unaisi Vatulili, Lewa Manu, Mode.
National women's coach Marika Rondo says they are looking forward to the results in the first round.
Suva travels to Nandronga this weekend. So how the coaches prepare the teams psychologically to be able to travel and also go and play at the same time on the same day, it's going to be a challenge. So let's see how it goes in this first round.
The first match will be played between Lambasa and Ba at 11:30 a.m. at Subrel Park in Lambasa tomorrow. On Sunday, Tailevunai Siri women will face Rewa at 1 p.m. at ANZ Stadium in Suva. And also on Sunday, Nandronga women will host Suva at Lawanga Park in Singatoka at the same time. Venina Rakautonga, FBC Sports.
The Digicel Premier League match between Lambasa and Ba tomorrow is shaping out to be a David and Goliath clash. These are the thoughts of new Lambasa inclusion Chone Naramba as the Mbamba Lions head into their first Premier League match against the Men in Black. As Caroline Tavi reports, Lambasa hopes to use the home crowd support to their advantage.
Former Nasinu utility player Chone Naramba is looking forward to donning the Lambasa jumper in his first Premier League outing for the season.
They are well-known champions. They are known as Giant Soccer of Fiji, but that won't take away the momentum and what the boys have done during the CBC. Looking forward to the first match of the Digicel Premier League. I think the boys are preparing well in terms of their fitness and working on their finishing as well.
With the inclusion of Samil Rao and Avinesh Warren Swami in the Ba side, Lambasa will need to work on bringing a strong midfield.
Basically, they'll be working more on their midfield. So looking at a bus combination at the moment, they brought in Samil Rao and Avinesh Swami back in their team, and hopefully we'll have to work on our midfield.
Lambasa Vice President Praveen Karan says a win is all they want.
We will definitely be a team in 2021 because we have aimed high to reach the O-League, to be the winners of National League this year.
Lambasa will host Ba at Subrel Park at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. Carlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
The monthly Cricket Fiji Challenge Trophy match between Mode and Oneilau will be held in Suva. As Aquiladama reports, there is no confirmation of when champions of Mode will defend their title, but the side seems to already know who will win the match.
The February Challenge match has been moved due to a number of reasons.
The Challenge Cup is supposed to be monthly, but we work according to the boat schedules. Now that Mode is the defending champ, Mode has asked that they defend it here in Suva against the next challenger, which is Oneilau.
This means Mode will defend this trophy, which is sitting proudly at the home of its chief in Nassau village at a later date.
It will most likely happen in March or very early April after the Easter Cup. So the teams will be arriving in a few weeks' time for the Easter Cup. When they're in, they'll prepare for the Easter Cup. Following that, then they'll have the challenge between Mode and Oneilau.
Mode's win over Suva last month has given them the confidence to retain the title.
I don't think Ono will be able to match us and win because they have not beaten us in a long time. So we are confident we'll retain this trophy.
While the Mode team is still in Suva, they might even have the March and April challenges as well here at Albert Park. After the Easter Cup is the men's trials, which means the team might spend a few more weeks in Suva. Aquiladama, FBC Sports.
That's it from Sports Tonight in New Media. Facebook to lift ban on political ads in the United States. This and more coming up.
We love here in Tavua. We love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Mostly sunny skies cover the country today, outside from some scattered showers. In the west, clear skies and warm sunny conditions prevailed. From Pacific Harbour to Suva, some early morning showers gave way to partly cloudy skies and a warm, humid day. And in the north, a mostly sunny day with very light showers over the western parts of Vanuatu. At sea, 15 to 20 knot northerly winds and moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 11:57 tonight, followed by low tide at 5:57 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:06. For tomorrow, we can expect a day much like today with an increased chance of occasional light showers late in the afternoon. The outlook for Sunday is mainly cloudy and warm with showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms. And in Fijian Pulse, we ask, should World Rugby consider bringing a seventh leg to Fiji, considering we are COVID contained?
Yes, it is a good idea, but on the risk of COVID coming to Fiji, since we are... But it would be a good idea if there was no COVID.
Fiji is home of 7 rugby and it's COVID-19 free.
Fiji is at that level where rugby is #1 and we have a good fan base, so I think they should move the series here to Fiji.
Fiji is well known for sevens in the world. They are ranked #1 in the world, and yeah, I think it's very good for the players because we love rugby.
And recapping our main stories, churches to develop anti-rape policies. Andilitia hits out at Sodelpa president, and political parties oppose electoral reforms. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, will you take the COVID-19 vaccine when it's available in Fiji? Visit our FBC News website to answer. And on to our shot of the day, the bright skies marking the end of another day captured at Sunset Strip in Korotongo, Singatoka by Elena Naivongo. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos by email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our various social media accounts including Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. That's your news this evening. I'll be back again next week. Until then, stay safe. Modemanda.
Vasilika and I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.